The call came while I was standing in the unfinished living room, the echo of my footsteps bouncing off bare walls I'd paid for inch by inch. 10 years of overtime, skipped vacations, silent endurance, solidified into drywall and dust. My father's voice didn't bother with pleasantries. "We need to talk about the house." The way he said, "the house," like it wasn't mine, made my stomach go still. I watched sunlight crawl across the floor where furniture would go, where a life was supposed to begin. I didn't answer right away. Silence has weight when you let it stretch. "What about it?" I asked. He hesitated, a small sound. Guilt, maybe, or calculation. "You should come by tonight." That was when my phone buzzed again. A message from her. "You know you never really meant anything to me." No punctuation, no emotion, just a statement, clinical, final. I read it twice, then once more, slower, like tasting poison to understand its shape. I looked around the room, the dream home, the sacrifice shrine, the proof of loyalty I'd mistaken for love. Something settled inside me. Not pain, clarity. "Tonight," I said to my father. "Sure." I hung up before he could explain, before anyone could soften the blade. She didn't cry when I got home that night. That should have been the first confirmation. She sat at the kitchen table scrolling through her phone, legs crossed, calm in a way that didn't belong to someone ending a decade. "I'm done pretending," she said without looking up. "You were convenient, that's all." Convenient? I nodded. I've always been good at that, absorbing impact without flinching. I noticed things then. The new watch on her wrist, too expensive. The way she shielded her screen. The name she never said but smiled at when messages arrived. I didn't ask questions. Questions are for people who want lies dressed as comfort. Later, when she slept easily beside me, I stared at the ceiling and replayed my father's tone. "The house. We need to talk." Pieces don't scream when they fall into place. They click. I remembered documents I hadn't signed yet, a sudden urgency from him to protect family interests, her sudden disinterest once the house neared completion. I wasn't her partner. I was the vehicle. I moved quietly after that, precision over emotion. Phone records first. Shared plans have benefits. Names repeat when you look long enough. So do numbers tied to my father's office. I watched them interact. Her laughter changed around him, softer, practiced. His hand lingered on her shoulder a second too long. I ordered a background check. Not on her, on the shell company my father insisted be involved in the house for tax reasons. Ownership wasn't where I thought it was. At night she talked about the future, without me in it. I listened, cataloged, stored. I kept building, paid the final contractor, smiled when my father praised my discipline. Inside, something dark was sharpening itself. Patience is a weapon when you know how to hold it. The report arrived on a Tuesday morning. Clean, undeniable. The house was never meant to be mine. My father had transferred partial ownership months ago, quietly, into her name. The rest would follow once I signed the final release, a reward for loyalty, for intimacy I wasn't part of. I invited them both over that evening, sat them down at the same table where she'd ended us. I slid the folder across the wood. No accusations, no raised voice. "Explain," I said. She went pale first. My father followed. His hands shook as he opened the documents. "This isn't what it looks like," he started. I watched them unravel. Her tears, his excuses. I felt nothing. The truth has a way of emptying a room. "I signed nothing," I said calmly. "Every transfer required my final authorization." They froze. I stood, walked to the door, and opened it. "You thought I was just building a house," I continued. "I was building leverage." I told them about the lawyer, the recordings, the clause they missed, how the company and the debt were now entirely hers. Her sobbing turned sharp, desperate. My father tried anger, authority. Neither worked. I picked up my bag. Everything I needed fit inside. "I left this morning," I said. "This was just courtesy." I walked out as their voices collapsed into each other. I didn't look back, not at the house, not at the family, not at the woman who mistook my silence for weakness. I drove until the city thinned and the noise inside me went quiet. Somewhere between the miles, I understood the truth. I didn't lose anything. I escaped, and for the first time in 10 years, nothing behind me mattered anymore.